Oh, what's up everybody? Tim Conley here, and I want to share with you the fastest way for you to become an authority in your market. This is something I've been teaching for a while. I've been teaching my daughter for several years, and I've been slowly releasing videos essentially describing the concept, but today we're going to start landing right in it, and it's called augmented reality. We are going to manipulate reality so that we are perceived as the leading authority in our market in a relatively short amount of time. Another way of phrasing this is called the leapfrog theory. Robert Ringer of Winning Through Intimidation wrote about this back in the 1970s on how to go from being at the bottom of the market, being someone nobody knows, to jumping all the way to the top and being one of the leading people in that space. This is something that is incredibly powerful, and it's so much easier to do today than it was back in the 1970s. So let's check it. Let's kick this off by dropping the term personal brand. There's too many people out there with hang-ups related to building their own personal brand. They resist it significantly, even though it's one of the most powerful tools you could possibly have to building your agency, building a business, building a career for yourself. Let's just drop that term. Why don't we think about personal branding as a business asset, as a career asset, something that we can craft and generate revenue from, something that will give us rewards for the effort that we put into it. That's what all assets are for. You invest in real estate, you get someone renting that property, you get paid for taking the risk of buying that house and renting it to other people. Your personal asset is the same thing. Your personal brand becomes an asset, is something that you're putting time, money, effort, resources into that will pay you long term. Augmented reality is a key element to building a personal brand. We are not yet the person that we aspire to be. We want to be a leader in our marketplace, but we're not. So we need to surround ourselves with the right credibility indicators that will augment our reality, that will take us from being seen as down here at the bottom to leapfrogging everyone else and be seen as a leader in the space. And I've got 5 ways for you to be able to do this. And the first one is, I learned this technique a long time ago. I met a guy who started blogging back in the early days of blogging, who got a job because he built a target blog about a company he wanted to work for. He wanted to get into the startup world. He lived in Phoenix, Arizona, and well, the startup world was over in Silicon Valley, and even back then, a little bit over in New York City. So he found a startup that he really wanted to work for, and he started a blog all about that company and all the marketing that he wanted to do if he worked at that company. Here's what I would do. Here's the research that I've done. And he just started blogging about that company, and they saw it. They saw the ideas that he was putting out, the effort that he was going through. He was also contacting people who worked for that company and interviewing them for his blog. So he took this whole idea that if I build something of value, then that company is likely to hire me if they have a position. And if they don't, they might just bring me on as a consultant. And if that doesn't land, I would be able to go to a competitor and be able to show them the ideas that I have because I've put in the time and the effort of crafting a well thought out marketing plan for a startup company just like theirs. The thing is, this guy didn't do it just once. He did it a second time. He wanted to work for a different company, so he started a blog. He started writing about all the things that he would do if he was working on the marketing team for that company. And he built this blog, started writing about all of his ideas, and connecting with the people who worked at that company, getting himself known by the people at that company, so that when they did have a job, He was a logical solution. He had already built himself into a valuable asset to that company. So with this recession, you might have lost most of your clients. You might be on the verge of not having an agency anymore. So what could you do? Is there a company out there that you would love to work for that isn't going away? You could start your target blog and start focusing on the concepts of what you would do if you worked for them. You can also do this in what I call the researcher approach. The researcher approach is you take all those insights, instead of targeting a single company, you target the market. You start giving market insights. One of the greatest examples of market insights is by Professor Scott Galloway. He started a company several years back called L2. He started sharing his market insights on YouTube, and they took off. It skyrocketed. They were really interesting. They were really interesting insights, and it built L2. It allowed L2 to expand further and further because this YouTube channel was doing the heavy lifting in his marketing. After selling that company, he started another YouTube channel called Section 4, and it's the same concept. Provide market insights to the world and then drive that traffic back, drive that authority back to the company where he could then land new clients. The researcher approach isn't saying, I'm the world's leading expert because I did it. It's, I'm the world's leading expert because I study it, I live it. And you are taking the ideas that you discover through researching the market and sharing it with the world. Similar to the target blog, the researcher approach gives you the ability to say, what I would do if I was running this. And it allows people to see your thinking, and not just your research, but how that you can take that research and turn it into strategy, turn it into an actionable idea. Which that leads us to the third one. It's where you would say, here's what I would do if I was in charge. If I was running this part of this company, if I was doing their marketing, if I was doing their social media, if I was doing this thing, this is what I would do. And you could build case studies. They're more like case studies in quotations because, well, you're not actually doing that work. You don't really know what's going on inside those companies, but it's giving the rest of the world a look inside your thought process. Like, hey, those are really good ideas. Wonder what he or she could do for me. I would be interested in that. And you will start building an audience that will see you as an authority because you're showing them what an alternate universe would look like. Graphic designers do this all the time, where they'll take the logos of famous companies and redesign them to show what they would do, what their thinking is, sort of a modern take on older logos. It gives people an insight in their skill set. They do have the technical proficiency to do a logo. They also have the ability to take a concept and refresh it, give it a new perspective. They also have the ability to just get your attention because they give you several of these ideas, and maybe some of them are just way off the wall, stuff that those companies would never do themselves, that no company would ever do. Sort of like a fashion show where they put these crazy outfits on the runway knowing full and well that no one's ever going to buy it, no one's ever going to wear it, but it's to grab attention. The alternate universe approach gives you the ability to advise companies and build case studies, fictional case studies, alternate universe case studies that allow you to show the breadth of your knowledge and your technical proficiency. The fourth approach is called the mentor approach. This is what I'm doing. I am mentoring you. I am showing you, here's what I did, and you can too. This approach, you kind of have to have some experience. You have to have some stuff that you can extract experience and knowledge and just hard knocks. You got to have some stuff in the past that you can extract and then put it into this new context. So you're laying out this new path of who you are as an authority. So you're not the world's mentor. I am not the world's mentor on agencies and consulting, but the mentor approach works great for me because I do have 20 years of experience to draw upon that is applicable to your situation and will help you grow to the next level. But if you don't have that history to draw upon, well, then you need to do the fifth one. This is the one that I recommend my daughter do. This is the one I recommend to all new people, and it's the Padawan approach. Well, you don't know anything, so you're learning and then sharing. So as the Padawan grows with their Jedi Master, all right, I am a nerd. As the Padawan learns more about the Jedi path, they start sharing it with the younger Padawans. They start sharing it with the world. They start sharing what they are learning. This is the best approach if you don't have a history to draw upon. If you're not already an expert at the thing that you want to be seen as a leader in, well, then you start with, I learned this and I'm teaching it to you. That's it. You just follow that approach. One of my previous business partners and former co-host of the Foolish Adventure Show was Izzy Hyman, and he did this with videography. He was a sales manager. He ran a sales department and he loved videography. And so he started teaching himself how to do videography and then in turn would share it with the world. So he started his own podcast on how to do videography. And by doing so, he would learn a thing like 3-point lighting. He would have these 3-point lights, and then he would film himself setting up 3-point lighting and why you would want to do it and how it works and how it improves your videography, and then share that with the rest of the world. At no point did he claim to be an expert until, well, he was an expert. For several years, he just kept the approach of I am going to just share what I learn. And it built a successful company called Izzy Video. He did a great job of taking the Padawan approach and turning it into a very lucrative income. I've been teaching my daughter the Padawan approach so that she could get a job. She doesn't want to start an agency. She doesn't want to be self-employed. She wants to work for someone else, and she wants to keep stepping up to better and better jobs where she's getting to do more creative things, being able to experience new things and have a broader experience in her work life.
Hey everybody, Tegan here, and this is a quick video I created to promote my boss's upcoming instructional live streams. And I'm sharing the thought process behind the creation with you. So the primary goal was to get eyeballs on the content and then convince the right people to register for the training. And I chose this format because video tends to grab attention better than just text or even photos.
And I told her, in today's day and age, you should be on LinkedIn. This is where you should be sharing this content. For you, being in the agency space, I would say you should be on LinkedIn. You should be just dominating content on LinkedIn, sharing your Padawan approach. Here's what I learned today. Here's who I learned it from. Here's how you could use it too. You take those simple 3 steps. Here's what I learned. Here's who I learned it from. And here's how you can use it. And use that in all of your content, and you will quickly be seen as an authority. People will start asking you questions about your topic because they will believe you. They'll resonate with the authenticity of the fact that you're not pretending to be an expert, an expert that you're not yet. You're not pretending. So they're going to resonate with that authenticity, and they're going to start asking you questions that you're not really qualified to answer. But what you'll do is you'll say, okay, I took a look. I researched it, I learned it, here's who I learned it from, and here's how you can use it. And that will grow your authority quickly. And if you start putting out that content, contact me. Let me know. I will share it. I will comment on your posts. Well, if it's good, I will comment and share it and like it and help you grow your audience on LinkedIn so you can grow your authority. Just go right there on LinkedIn and connect with me and let me know that this is what you're going to do. You're going to share your approach on LinkedIn, and then I will be able to see your content and be able to like it and share it and comment on it to help you gain an audience. And if you think that's cool, like this video, maybe even share it. And definitely subscribe, hit that little notification bell, ding-ding-ding-ding, and do all the socials, and I'll see you in the next video. So as we roll out, I'll have my daughter share a bit of her knowledge.
Some music and snappy editing add to the experience of watching. It doesn't need to be extravagant, but a polished video is much nicer to watch. There's also a second purpose to this video, and that is to show that my boss John is an authority in his field because he is the face of the company and will be doing the live training himself.
All right, we're done.